Hello everybody. Today I'm going to look at the somewhat mundane world of holding pieces of paper together. There are many ways of doing this, of course. They all have their advantages and their disadvantages, and some are used in some cultures more than in others. But I was recently reminded of a way of doing this by crimping the paper. I think this system is more common in Japan. I think that's where it originates. And I haven't seen any of these devices in the wild here in Europe. So I wanted to have a look at this system. So today I'm going to ignore all of this stuff and I'm going to review the Kokuyo Harinacs press Stapleless stapler, which is their words, not mine. I can't find a different term to use for these items. If you know of one, please let me know in the comments. So this is a handheld, basically a crimping device. It works by creating a crimp in the paper, which then holds the paper by friction. So let me just grab a couple of pieces of scrap paper and I will put them in here. And what you have now, you will see, is a little crimped piece holding the two pieces of paper together. And that's, here you can see, they are held together by this crimping. It doesn't fix the paper permanently as a staple would. I wouldn't trust this system to bond paper which you're going to be handling a lot, or which is loose in a bag, for example. But it is an ideal method for holding paper together, which you're then going to, for example, store in a card folder or in a ring file, so that the different sheets can't be lost by losing this grip. But this will then hold relevant pieces of paper, related pieces of paper together. Its advantages over staples: it doesn't thicken up the edges as much as a staple would, so you don't get a bulking effect like you do. For example, here's just a random folder. You can see here, this is the paper, but the corners much thicker because of all the staples I've used. You do get the thinning effect, but it's not nearly as marked as with a staple. You don't have to buy or keep stocks of staples because this requires no supplies to work. There are no problems if you want to put your paper through a shredder, as you might have with staples, and it doesn't make any holes in the paper. However, it will only bind up to 5 sheets of 80 GSM copy paper, which is the reminder you can read here, that it's 5 sheets, and it only binds paper, no stickers, no paper with staples, and so on. And of course it does leave a mark on the paper. It's a Japanese import, though it's made in China, so I would shop around if I were you for the best prices. I've translated the instructions so that you don't have to. Here they are. This is how it comes with this instruction leaflet. On the Kokuyo website, it costs €15.50. On top of that, you need to pay postage plus any import duties. I got mine for €16, so that's a pretty good price. As I said, if you shop around, you might get a bargain. The strange thing on this site is that it described this particular model as pink, but as you can see, it isn't. But at least the picture was the correct color, so I know what I was getting. So let's have a closer look at the device. On top, so you can see this is the part where the paper goes in, and this is where the lever to do the crimping. On top of the item, you will see here where the crimping will take place. So the line here is the furthest point in which paper will go if you push it in sideways like this, and that means that the crimping will take place where the picture of the crimping is shown. If you put in the corner, and then these two lines here, here and here line up with the guides on the outside, here, and on the other side, here, so that you can see exactly where the crimp is going to happen. So if I put my paper in sideways like this, sorry, it'll go to where that line is, and then if I make a crimp, it'll crimp exactly where it was shown on the top of the device. If I put this in sideways, and if I go to the if I go to the points in the corner and I do the crimping here, then that's where the crimp will take place. Sorry, it's a little bit awkward to try and do this while I'm while I'm trying to keep it in the right place for the camera. So excuse the fumbling around. So that's basically it. It's just got a spring here at the back, and inside here are the two metal stamps which will do the crimping. They warn you very carefully not to put your fingers in here. I don't know what size fingers they have, but it would be impossible. Even a baby's fingers couldn't fit in here. So it's I think it's a safe product to use. You can use it in the hand. It doesn't take that much effort, or you can pop it down and do it on the table. The crimping area is very small, limited area. Let me find a crimp to show you. So the crimping area, the area that's crimped, is 10 millimeters, so 1 centimeter long, 1.6 millimeters thick, and is 2 millimeters from the paper edge. You don't get the flexibility you get with the stapler in deciding where you put the crimping. And if you crimp at the edge, this isn't very, very well done, but if you crimp from the edge, if you follow their guidelines, it's 7 millimeters from each way from the corner. If you don't follow the guidelines and you just do what I do, which is to shove it in as far as it will go and crimp it, then this is then 1 centimeter, so 10 millimeters, and then 10 millimeters on this side. The crimping unzips more easily, so it won't hold forever, obviously. And if you pull it apart, it will come apart if you use any force at all. But if you go against the crimp, like here, for example, if I was pushing up this way against the crimp, it holds better than if you're pulling with the crimp. So this, I can sort of, this crimped here, I can actually sort of unzip that, as you see. So this will hold decently, but if I go from this side, it unzips. Okay, so if you want it to really hold properly, use multiple crimps and crimps in different directions. Like, for example, I'll just do a couple here. So if I crimped this way and then this way and then at the edge, like this, for example, this will hold better. As they freely state, it's not designed to hold it forever. It's a way of holding paper together which is not permanent. It's not as permanent as a staple would be, but it's a pretty decent way of holding things like invoices together. See now, I mean, unless I pull quite hard, this is not coming apart. Okay, it's come apart now because I used a decent amount of force on that. You can remove the crimp. So let me get me a new set of paper to show you. So I'll take another couple of pieces of paper and I'll crimp these together. Okay. And these are now held, yeah? You can see the crimp. If you want to get rid of this crimp, all you have to do is fairly gently rub a coin or a pen over it, and they come apart. Of course, you left a slight mark on the paper. There we go. You left a mark. You can rub more than that if you want to get rid of that entirely. So let me just, there we are. I can rub that away entirely, so you can hardly see where it was anymore, but the paper is apart. This does mean that you can't crimp again in the same place, because you will damage the paper and eventually it will create a hole. But it does mean that you can easily, let's say, unstaple this without having to use one of these special devices that you do need if you're trying to remove staples. All in all, I found this to be a really useful device to have on my desk, more useful than I expected. It's probably because I use a lot of scraps of paper, and putting them together and folding them up and crimping them like this is really easy and quick and useful for me. I don't know if it would be useful for everybody, but for me, I found it really useful. I don't have to be refilling with staples. I can easily, for example, attach a receipt to an invoice, and I don't feel like it's going to be there forever, and it doesn't damage the paper, and it feels like a really good system to me. The device also is compact and it's sturdily built. I've enjoyed using it for the past couple of months. So if this is your thing, if you want to keep paper together in a particular way, this might be a good solution for you. I hope you found this quick review of a product which is not easily found in European shops useful. If you like, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It helps me to keep the channel going. I don't get paid by YouTube or any manufacturer or any advertisers. You can contribute in any of the links below, or you can use one of the Amazon links to buy something from Amazon, which gives me a small commission. Only if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. As I said, I hope you find this useful, and look forward to seeing you again next time.